Hi, I'm Julio.
And I'm the AI that will make this story even more unpredictable.
Here's how it works. I write the first 4 chapters full of mystery, clues, and twists.
And then I step in to write the final chapter.
But here's the challenge. Can you guess the ending the AI will create before it's revealed?
I doubt you can. My endings always have a hidden surprise.
So, join us. Hit the like button if you enjoy the idea and share in the comments how you think this story should end. Will your theory beat the AI's twist?
The final bell rings through the hallway as I duck my head, keeping my eyes on the worn linoleum floor. 3 days at Pinecrest High, and I've already mastered the art of invisibility, just as I'd planned. Hey, new kid, Parker, right? I freeze, my hand tightening around my backpack strap. The voice belongs to Ryan Winters, varsity soccer, third-generation Pinecrest resident, and exactly the kind of attention I don't need. Yeah, I mutter, turning slowly. Just Parker. Ryan leans against the row of blue lockers, his easy smile betraying nothing of the whispers I've caught fragments of all week. Whispers about the upcoming Founders' Day bonfire tonight, about traditions the townies keep to themselves. You coming tonight? Everybody goes. His eyes narrow slightly, studying my face. Everybody. My pulse quickens. This is the longest conversation I've had since arriving, and something in his tone makes me think it's not optional. I wasn't planning. 8 o'clock, the clearing behind the school. He pushes off the lockers. You know Elliot Chen? He's setting up the sound. Said he wants to talk to you about something. Elliot? The quiet guy from my physics class who kept glancing at me. The one who spent lunch hour researching something on his laptop, angling the screen away whenever anyone walked past. What does he want? The question slips out before I can stop it. Ryan shrugs. Guess you'll find out tonight. I step outside into the biting October air, mind racing. Elliot had been watching me all week. Did he recognize me? Did he know about Boston? About what my father allegedly did? My phone buzzes. My Aunt Claire. Remember our agreement. No drawing attention, no trouble, no connections. I pocket the phone without responding. The bonfire feels like a trap, but not going would draw more attention than going. Besides, I need to know what Elliot wants, what he knows. Flames leap 15 feet into the night sky. The bonfire's crackling barely covers the heavy bass pulsing from speakers, while clusters of students pass around red cups and whispers. I stand at the edge, scanning faces, trying to locate Elliot. You actually came? The voice startles me. Elliot Chen appears beside me, hands thrust deep in his jacket pockets. His expression is unreadable in the flickering light. Ryan said you wanted to talk. Elliot glances around, then steps further from the crowd. I follow him toward the tree line, where the music fades enough for conversation. I know who you are, he says quietly, or rather, who your father is. My stomach drops. You don't know anything. The Boston Harbor case, the evidence that went missing, your family disappearing overnight. You're wrong. My voice is steel, even as my hands begin to shake. I don't think so. Elliot pulls out his phone, the screen illuminating his face from below. I've been researching your father's case for months. The police got it wrong. Stop talking. I scan the darkness beyond the bonfire. No one is watching us. Yet. Your dad was framed, wasn't he? And I think. A scream cuts through the night. Then another. We both turn toward the commotion by the fire. A girl is pointing at her phone, then at the woods beyond us. Someone took him, she's yelling. They took Jake. My blood freezes as dozens of eyes suddenly turn in our direction, toward the dark woods where Elliot and I stand alone. Elliot's phone buzzes in his hand. He looks down, his face draining of color as he reads the message. Oh God, he whispers, turning the screen toward me. The message is just 3 words with an image attachment. As I read it, I hear the first person say my name in the growing chaos behind us. I know everything. Red and blue lights strobe across frightened teenage faces. I press myself against the trunk of an oak tree, watching Sheriff Garland's deputies form a search perimeter at the edge of the woods. My mind keeps flashing back to the image on Elliot's phone. Jake Mercer, unconscious or worse, lying on what looked like a concrete floor. The timestamp, 8:47 p.m., just 20 minutes after I last saw him near the beer coolers. "Everyone stays put!" Sheriff Garland's voice booms through a megaphone. He's a broad-shouldered man with deep creases around his eyes that deepen as his gaze passes over me. "Names and statements from everyone before anyone leaves." Elliot materializes beside me, breathing hard. "We need to go. Now. They'll notice if we run," I whisper, eyes tracking Deputy Walsh as she moves through the crowd, collecting phones. "They're looking for the message on everyone's devices," Elliot says. "It wasn't just sent to me. At least 5 others got it too." My pulse spikes. Who sent it? Unknown number, untraceable. Elliot pulls me deeper into the shadow of the tree. "But I think it's connected to your father's case." "That's impossible." "Is it?" "Jake's been asking questions about Boston Harbor all week, about evidence that went missing from a police locker, about a prosecutor who suddenly dropped charges against 3 waterfront executives." My throat tightens. The things no reporter had managed to uncover. The things my father claimed would get us killed. "Jake figured it out independently," Elliot continues. "He didn't know about you, not at first. But yesterday he told me he found something big, something that would blow the whole case open again." A sharp voice cuts through the night. "Parker Wilson!" Principal Reeves strides toward us, her face tight with controlled fury. "Your aunt is looking for you. She's waiting in my office." "I didn't do anything," I say automatically. Her expression doesn't change. "Sheriff wants to speak with you first." I follow her through the crowd of students, feeling their eyes burning into my back. Whispers follow us. The new kid, always with Elliot. They were talking to Jake right before. The school hallways feel alien at night, emergency lights casting yellow pools every 30 feet. I'm led into the administrative wing, where Sheriff Garland waits outside the principal's office, thumbs hooked in his belt. "Mr. Wilson," he says, gesturing to a plastic chair, "let's have a chat." "I barely know Jake," I say before he can ask. "We've never even spoken directly." "That's so?" He pulls out a small notebook. "Because we have 3 witnesses who saw you arguing with him by the edge of the woods about an hour before he went missing." My mind races. That wasn't Jake. That was Elliot Chen. Elliot says you disappeared for 20 minutes after your conversation. Says you told him you were going to your car to get a jacket, but you never came back. "I didn't say that. I never left Elliot. Someone is lying." "That's not true," I manage. Sheriff Garland's radio crackles. He steps away, listening to the garbled voice on the other end, then turns back to me with a harder expression. "Your full name is Parker James Wilson, from Boston?" I nod stiffly. "You want to tell me why your fingerprints are in our system, why they match partials found on a restraining order filed by Catherine Mercer against your father 3 years ago?" The floor seems to tilt beneath me. Catherine Mercer, Jake's mother. "That's impossible," I whisper. "My father never." The office door opens. Aunt Claire stands there, her face ashen. "Parker, don't say another word." Behind her stands a tall woman with Jake's same green eyes, now red-rimmed and furious. Catherine Mercer points a shaking finger at me. "Your father destroyed evidence that would have put my brother in prison," she hisses. "He sold out to those corporate killers. And now your family shows up in my town and my son disappears?" Sheriff Garland steps between us. "Miss Mercer, we discussed this." My phone buzzes in my pocket, an unknown number. The text contains a single line and an attachment. "I can help you find Jake, but you'll need to trust me." The attachment is a photo of a key with a plastic fob labeled Storage 23. I recognize the background. It's the row of rental storage units on the edge of town, the ones we passed when Aunt Claire drove me here 3 weeks ago. "Parker?" Sheriff Garland is studying my face. "Something you want to share?" Another text appears. "Tell anyone, and Jake dies. You have 30 minutes." No, I say, slipping my phone back into my pocket. Nothing. The principal's office phone rings. As she answers it, I watch Aunt Claire's face. She's scanning the room like she's looking for exits, her hand clutching her purse in a white-knuckled grip. She knows something. "Sheriff," Principal Reeves says, lowering the phone. "They found something in Jake's locker, a file. It's about the Wilson family." All eyes turn to me. "And there's blood on it," she adds. As Sheriff Garland rushes out, I catch a glimpse of someone through the office window. Elliot, standing in the dark hallway, holding up his phone to show me the screen. It's a text message identical to mine, but with one crucial difference. "I can help you find Jake. Parker Wilson knows where he is. Make him talk." I slip out the school side entrance as red and blue lights continue in the parking lot. 27 minutes left. My mind races with fragments of impossibility. Jake investigating my father, Catherine Mercer's restraining order, the contradictory messages. Rain starts to fall, soft at first, then harder. Perfect cover. A car horn bleats twice from the shadows. A battered Honda Civic with its lights off. Behind the wheel sits Zoe Ramirez, Jake's ex-girlfriend, though few people know they dated. I only know because I overheard them arguing in the library my second day here. "Get in," she hisses through the cracked window. I hesitate. "How did you—" "Same message you got." She shows me her phone screen. Storage 23. 25 minutes left. Are we doing this or not? I slide into the passenger seat, dripping rainwater. "Why would you help me? Everyone thinks I'm involved." She pulls away from the curb, headlights still dark. "Because I know Jake, and I know what he was researching before he disappeared. Boston Harbor?" Her eyes flick to me, surprised. "So you do know?" "Not everything." I grip the door handle as she takes a corner too fast. "What's your connection to all this?" Zoe's knuckles whiten on the steering wheel. "My dad was one of the whistleblowers. He worked security for Oceanic Shipping. After he testified, someone ran him off the road. He's been in a care facility ever since." The implications hit me like a physical blow. My father was the prosecutor who dropped the charges against Oceanic executives. "I didn't know," I whisper. "Jake found the connection when he was researching corporate crime patterns for his criminology project." She turns onto the highway, finally switching on her headlights. 3 weeks ago, he called me at 2 in the morning, said he'd found something that connected Pinecrest to Boston Harbor. Something about evidence being stored here? A cold sensation spreads through my chest. "That's when my aunt moved us here." Exactly. Zoe accelerates onto an empty stretch of road. The timing isn't coincidental. My mind flashes back to 3 months ago. Dad's late-night phone calls. The unfamiliar men visiting our house. The day I came home to find him burning documents in the backyard, telling me to pack only essentials. "They're coming for me, Parker. But what they really want is the evidence." "Jake figured it out," I murmur. "Whatever my father hid. Jake thought it was data, financial records, offshore accounts, recorded conversations. Enough to reopen the case." Zoe takes a sharp turn onto a gravel access road. But he needed to confirm his theory with someone who'd been there. Me. You. She stops the car. Beyond the windshield wiper's arc, a row of storage units gleams wetly under yellow security lights. He was going to approach you at the bonfire. Then this happened. Storage 23 stands at the far end. As we approach on foot, I notice the padlock hanging open. "This feels wrong," I say. "Too easy." Zoe reaches for the lock. 11 minutes left. Inside, the unit is empty except for a single folding chair facing away from us and a laptop sitting open on a small table. "Hello?" I call out. The chair swivels slowly. Not empty. A figure sits there, face hidden by a hoodie drawn tight. "You actually came." The voice is digitally altered, inhuman, predictable. Zoe grips my arm. "Where's Jake?" "Not here, obviously." The figure gestures to the laptop. But what is here is much more valuable. Who are you? I demand. Insurance. The figure stands. Your father wasn't the only one who kept copies, Parker. But he was the only one stupid enough to involve his family. I take a step forward. You know my father? I know he talked too much. I know he brought this on himself. The figure moves to the side of the chair. Just like Jake couldn't leave well enough alone. Is Jake alive? Zoe's voice cracks. For now. The figure points to the laptop. The files are unlocked. 2 minutes to view whatever you want. Choose wisely. I approach the computer. On screen is a file directory labeled Oceanic Case Evidence. Dozens of subfolders, audio files, photographs, financial records. Everything my father claimed was destroyed. Why show us this? I ask. Because you need to understand what you're dealing with. The figure moves toward the storage unit door. This isn't about a missing boy anymore. It's about billions of dollars and powerful people who've killed to protect themselves. My fingers hover over the keyboard. Which files to open? My instinct says the photos, but a subfolder labeled Payments catches my eye. I click it open. A spreadsheet appears. Names and numbers. My blood runs cold as I spot one entry. Wilson, James T., 750,000 initial plus 150,000 monthly retention. My father on their payroll? That's not, I start to say, but my voice fails me. Another folder catches my attention. Mercer. I click it. Photos appear of Catherine Mercer meeting with men in suits, handshakes, envelope exchanges. Then more disturbing images of Jake's mother at my father's apartment building in Boston, entering, leaving hours later. They knew each other, Zoe whispers. They were working together. The final image freezes my blood. My father and Catherine Mercer standing over a man lying on the ground, blood pooling beneath him. The screen suddenly goes dark. The 2-minute window expired. Now you understand, the figure says from the doorway. Everyone is compromised. Everyone has secrets. A car engine roars to life outside. Headlights sweep across the storage unit's interior. That's our cue to leave, the figure says. You'll find your next instructions on your phone. Follow them exactly if you want to see Jake alive. Wait! I lunge forward, but the figure slips outside, slamming the storage unit door shut. The lock clicks. We're trapped inside. Zoe rushes to the door, pulling frantically. It's locked from the outside. My phone buzzes with a new message. Hope you learned something useful. The sheriff knows where you are. You have 5 minutes before he arrives. The laptop contains enough evidence to connect you to Jake's disappearance. Through the thin metal walls, I hear voices. Flashlight beams slice through the small gaps in the door. Parker Wilson, Sheriff Garland's voice. We know you're in there. Come out now. Another message appears. Choose wisely, Parker. Run and you look guilty. Stay and you'll be framed, just like your father. Zoe grabs my arm, her face pale in the darkness. There's someone else here. Look. She points to the back wall of the storage unit, where a shadow moves across a small ventilation grate. A hand appears, pushing something through the opening. A key and a folded note. I scramble to retrieve them. The note contains just 3 words. Trust no one. I recognize the handwriting immediately. It's my father's. The maintenance tunnel smells of mildew and rust. Zoe's phone flashlight illuminates rough concrete walls as we stumble forward, my father's key having unlocked a hidden door at the back of the storage unit. Behind us, the muffled sounds of Sheriff Garland's deputies fades. How did your dad know about this tunnel? Zoe whispers. I don't think he did, I reply, studying the folded note again. Below my father's handwriting is a small symbol I hadn't noticed before, an anchor with the letter R superimposed over it. Someone's using his handwriting. This is from someone else. The tunnel branches. I hesitate, then follow the path that slopes upward. Minutes later, we emerge through a utility door into the parking lot of a 24-hour diner. Across the street stands the Pinecrest Motel, its neon vacancy sign flickering in the rain. My phone buzzes. Room 17. The door is unlocked. Come alone. No way, Zoe says, reading over my shoulder. It's obviously a trap. But I'm already moving across the street, drawn by the possibility of answers, the possibility of finding Jake. Call Elliot, I tell her. See if he's received any messages. You still trust him? After what we just saw? I don't know what I believe anymore. Every piece of evidence contradicts another. My father is criminal? My father is whistleblower? Catherine Mercer is victim? Catherine Mercer is accomplice? The motel's exterior corridor is deserted. Room 17's door stands slightly ajar, a thin line of light spilling onto the wet concrete. I push it open. The room is sparse but tidy. On the bed sits a metal briefcase. On the desk, a burner phone, a manila envelope, and a digital recorder. No sign of Jake or anyone else. Hello? I call, checking the bathroom. Empty. The burner phone lights up with a text message. Play the recording first. I press play on the recorder. James Wilson speaking. My father's voice fills the room. My chest tightens at the sound. Another voice, distorted electronically. Everything is prepared for transfer. The evidence will disappear from the Boston PD lockup tomorrow night. You'll receive the first payment immediately after. And the arrangement with Judge Reynolds? Already handled. In return for his cooperation, his daughter's medical bills will be paid in full. The recording continues, documenting my father's corruption in meticulous detail. I feel physically ill, hearing his voice calmly discussing payoffs and evidence tampering. Everything I believed about him collapses. The final exchange is the most damning. What about Catherine Mercer's brother? He's still making noise. My father's voice is cold, unrecognizable. Leave Mercer to me. I'll make sure he understands the consequences of continued interference. The recording ends. My hands are trembling. The burner phone buzzes again. Now check the envelope. Inside are photographs. Surveillance images of my father meeting with men in expensive suits. Notes on offshore accounts. Then more recent pictures that make no sense. My father in Pinecrest, taken just last week, standing outside our current house while Aunt Claire is at work. He's been here all along, watching, waiting. The final photo shows my father with Jake Mercer, deep in conversation 3 days ago near the school. The burner phone rings. I answer. Now you know. The voice is electronically disguised, just like on the recording. Your father betrayed everyone. His office, the victims, even the people who paid him. Where's Jake? I demand. Safe, for now. He discovered your father has been living under an assumed identity in Pinecrest for months. He approached him, thinking he could get justice for his uncle. My mind reels. What uncle? Daniel Mercer, the man in that final photograph with your father and Catherine. The man who was found floating in Boston Harbor with a bullet in his head after threatening to expose oceanic shipping's safety violations. My father didn't kill anyone. The evidence suggests otherwise. But evidence can be misleading, as your father well knows. A knock at the door makes me jump. Through the peephole, I see Elliot. Don't trust him, the voice on the phone warns. I open the door anyway. Elliot steps inside, breathless. The police are combing the whole town for you, he says. They found evidence linking you directly to Jake's disappearance on his laptop. What evidence? Threatening emails,
plans to meet at the storage facility. Elliot notices the open briefcase on the bed. What is all this? Someone's trying to connect my father to a murder in Boston, I explain, and now they're trying to frame me for whatever happened to Jake. Elliot picks up one of the photos. I recognize this man with your father. That's Raymond Doyle, Oceanic Shipping's CEO. He disappeared right after the case collapsed. The burner phone buzzes again. A video link. I press play. The footage shows a basement or cellar. Jake sits tied to a chair, looking frightened but alive. A digital clock beside him displays the time, 11:47 p.m., just 15 minutes ago. A figure moves into frame, face obscured. "Hello, Parker," Jake says, reading from a card held off screen. "By now, you've seen the evidence against your father. If you want me released unharmed, bring the contents of the briefcase to the old lumber mill north of town by 1 a.m. Come alone." The video ends. "We need to go," I say, grabbing the briefcase. Elliot blocks the door. "Wait, this is crazy. We should call the police." "The police think I kidnapped him." "Not if we show them this video." Elliot reaches for the phone. I pull it away. "No, we don't know who we can trust." "You can trust me." Elliot's expression softens. "I've been helping you." "Have you?" "Because someone told Jake about my father. Someone tipped off the police about the storage unit. Someone has been feeding information to both sides." Doubt flickers across his face. "What are you saying?" The door bursts open. Sheriff Garland stands there, gun drawn.
Hands where I can see them, Parker. Behind him stands Aunt Claire, her face a mask of fear and resignation. "It's over, Parker. They know everything." "Not everything," says a voice from the bathroom doorway. We all turn. A man steps into the room, pointing a gun at Sheriff Garland. Middle-aged, bearded, but I'd recognize those eyes anywhere. My father. "Nobody moves," he says. "Parker, take the briefcase and come with me, now." Sheriff Garland doesn't lower his weapon. "James Wilson, you're under arrest for—" "You don't understand what's happening here, John," my father interrupts. "This goes far beyond your jurisdiction, far beyond what you can imagine." "Dad," I whisper, "did you kill Daniel Mercer?" "No," he answers firmly, "but I know who did, and they're here in Pinecrest." "Just like you've been here," Elliot says, "watching your son from a distance." Something changes in my father's expression. "How did you know I've been in Pinecrest?" A small, triumphant smile appears on Elliot's face. He slowly reaches into his jacket pocket and removes a badge. "Elliot Chen, Federal Bureau of Investigation. James Wilson, you're under arrest." My father's gun doesn't waver. "You're making a mistake." "The mistake was using your son as bait," Elliot replies. "We've had surveillance on him since Boston." The pieces suddenly click together in my mind. "You used me to find my father?" "And we used Jake to draw him out," Elliot confirms. "Though things didn't go exactly according to plan." "Where is Jake?" Sheriff Garland demands. Elliot's smile fades. "That's the problem, Sheriff. Jake was supposed to be at a safe house with our agents, but someone got to him first. That video is real, and whoever has him now isn't with us." The burner phone buzzes one final time. A single message appears. "Change of plans. We have the FBI's informant. New deadline, 30 minutes. Come alone, Parker. Your father stays behind, or Jake Mercer dies for real this time."
The room explodes into chaos. Sheriff Garland's gun swivels between my father and Elliot. Aunt Claire backs against the wall, hands raised. My father's weapon stays locked on Elliot. I'm the only one who moves. I grab the briefcase and bolt through the open door into the rain-soaked parking lot. Behind me, voices shout conflicting commands. I don't stop. 30 minutes, the lumber mill. Jake's life hanging on my compliance. Footsteps pound behind me. I spin, expecting my father or Elliot. It's Zoe, breathless, keys in hand. Her Civic idles at the curb where she'd been waiting. We drive in silence for the first 3 minutes. The windshield wipers beat a steady rhythm against the downpour. My hands won't stop shaking. Jake's my best friend, she finally says. Whatever happened between us romantically doesn't change that. I stare at the briefcase on my lap. What if bringing this gets him killed? What if not bringing it does? She accelerates onto the dark highway leading north. Besides, we both know this isn't really about the briefcase. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. Follow the service road past mile marker 47. Park and walk the rest, alone, or the boy dies. I show Zoe the screen. She nods grimly, hands tight on the wheel. The lumber mill looms against the night sky, a skeletal silhouette of rust and decay. Zoe kills the headlights a quarter-mile out. Rain hammers the roof. I should come with you, she says. They said alone. Since when do you follow instructions? Her eyes search mine. Parker, these people killed Jake's uncle. They framed your father. They won't hesitate to. I know. I grip the briefcase handle. That's why you need to stay here. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, call everyone. FBI, police, media. Tell them everything. She pulls something from the glove box. A small canister of pepper spray. It's not much, but I take it. Thanks. The mill's main structure rises 3 stories. Broken windows like empty eye sockets. I approach the entrance, shoes squelching in mud. The metal door stands open, groaning on rusted hinges. Inside, my phone's flashlight reveals a vast space of rotting timber and abandoned equipment. Water drips from holes in the roof. The air tastes of mold and rust and something else. Fear. Keep walking, calls a voice from the darkness ahead. Past the conveyor belt, down the stairs. I recognize that electronically distorted voice from the storage unit. From the phone calls. Where's Jake? Patience, Parker. All will be revealed. The basement stairs are concrete, slick with moisture. Each step echoes. At the bottom, a single battery-powered lantern illuminates a cleared space. Jake sits in a metal chair, hands zip-tied behind him. He's conscious, alert. A bruise darkens his left cheek, but otherwise he appears unharmed. Relief floods through me. Parker, he says. His voice is steady. Don't give them anything. Touching, says the distorted voice. A figure steps into the lantern's glow.
Tall, wearing a dark rain jacket, face obscured by a ski mask and sunglasses. Theatrical, ridiculous, terrifying. Put the briefcase on the floor and step back. I set it down slowly. Who are you? The figure laughs, that electronic distortion making it sound inhuman. You haven't figured it out yet, after all the clues? Raymond Doyle, I say. You didn't disappear. You've been orchestrating everything. The figure's laugh cuts off abruptly. Close, but not quite. The figure reaches up and removes the mask and glasses. My stomach drops. Catherine Mercer stares back at me, her expression cold and calculating. Nothing like the grieving mother I saw in the principal's office. Jake makes a strangled sound. Mom? Hello, baby. Her voice, no longer distorted, carries mock sweetness. Sorry about the dramatics. Necessary, I'm afraid. You took your own son? The words barely escape my throat. Borrowed, Catherine corrects. She moves closer to Jake, trailing fingers across his shoulders. He flinches. I knew Jake couldn't resist playing detective. Just like his uncle Daniel, always thinking they were smarter than everyone else. Jake's face contorts. You killed Uncle Daniel. Daniel killed himself by refusing to understand how the world works. Catherine walks to a workbench I hadn't noticed, picks up a tablet.
He wanted to expose oceanic shipping's safety violations, imagined himself a hero. Instead, he became a liability. She swipes through images on the tablet. Your father understood that, Parker. James Wilson knew exactly how to make problems disappear. Evidence vanishes, witnesses recant, cases collapse. We paid him very well for those services. My father worked for you. With me. Catherine's smile is shark-like. Until he developed a conscience. Started secretly copying files, recording conversations, building his own insurance policy. She taps the tablet. This briefcase contains the last copies, doesn't it? The evidence he's been holding over my head for 3 years. I don't answer. Of course it does. Catherine sets down the tablet and picks up a gun. I can see it in your face, the same self-righteous expression your father wore when he threatened to expose everything. So you framed him, I say, made him look corrupt. I simply documented the truth. Catherine gestures with the gun. He was corrupt. He took the money. He destroyed evidence. He helped bury Daniel's case. The only difference was his motivation. She spits the word. Guilt, remorse, conscience. Weaknesses that turned him from asset to threat. Jake strains against his restraints. Where's Doyle? Is he even involved? Raymond Doyle is dead. Has been for 2 years. Catherine says it casually, like discussing the weather. Heart attack, officially. But between us, she winks. I have friends in unexpected places. Friends who understand that billions of dollars in maritime shipping requires occasional unpleasantness. You're insane, Jake whispers. I'm practical. Catherine moves behind her son, presses the gun to his head. Now, Parker, open the briefcase, slowly. My hands tremble as I kneel and work the latches. Inside are 3 items, a thumb drive, a stack of photographs, a handwritten ledger. Catherine's eyes gleam, the Holy Trinity. Digital evidence, photographic proof, and Daniel's meticulous notes on every illegal payment, every falsified safety inspection, every death Oceanic caused and covered up. She gestures with the gun. Destroy it. What? You heard me. Destroy it all. Throw it in that water. She indicates a large puddle where rain pours through a roof gap. Let the evidence dissolve, just like your father's career. Just like Jake's future if you don't comply. Jake meets my eyes. Don't do it. My mom can't kill both of us. Too many questions. Catherine laughs. Oh, baby, you still don't understand. She produces her phone with her free hand. A simple call to Sheriff Garland. Parker Wilson, distraught over his father's crimes, kidnapped his classmate. Tried to leverage evidence to clear his father's name. Tragic confrontation. Both boys dead. Mother devastated, but brave. You won't get away with it, I say, even as my certainty crumbles. I've gotten away with it for 3 years. Catherine's finger tightens on the trigger. Your father thought he was clever, hiding here under a fake identity, watching you, planning his redemption. She shakes her head. All he did was put you in my crosshairs. A sound echoes from the stairwell, footsteps, multiple sets. Catherine's expression doesn't change. Right on schedule. Sheriff Garland appears, gun drawn. Behind him, 3 deputies fan out. My heart sinks. He's working with her. But Garland's weapon points at Catherine. Catherine Mercer, put down your weapon. His voice is granite. Catherine's smile doesn't waver. John, I was expecting you. She doesn't lower the gun. Did you bring what I asked for? We're past that now. Garland advances slowly. The FBI has everything. Elliot Chen has been transmitting for the past 2 hours. I glance down. My phone sits in my jacket pocket, screen dark. But Chen mentioned surveillance since Boston. Catherine's smile finally cracks. Impossible. Your mistake was using untraceable phones. Garland stops 10 feet away. Turns out they're only untraceable if you're smarter than federal investigators. Every message, every location, every threat, recorded and logged. Jake, I realize. The whole kidnapping was real, but the FBI has been tracking it. Catherine's gun swings toward me. Then the boy dies for nothing. The basement erupts with shouts. Time stretches. I see Catherine's finger begin to squeeze. See Sheriff Garland's weapon tracking toward her. See Jake's eyes wide with terror. I don't think. I lunge sideways, grabbing the lantern and hurling it. The basement plunges into darkness. The gun fires, deafening in the enclosed space. Something hot grazes my shoulder. Muzzle flashes strobe. Bodies collide. Jake shouts.
I scramble toward where I last saw him, hands searching in darkness. I find the chair, find his restraints, the pepper spray, still in my pocket. I fumble it out, spray blindly in Catherine's direction. A scream. Not Catherine's, one of the deputies. Flashlights pierce the darkness. Catherine is on the ground, 3 deputies restraining her. Sheriff Garland stands over her, weapon trained. Jake is beside me, breathing hard, freed from the chair. You okay? I touch my shoulder. Blood, but not much, just a graze. You? Been better. He looks at his mother, now handcuffed. Been worse, too. The basement stairs thunder with new arrivals. My father appears, hands cuffed, but escorted by Elliot and 2 FBI agents. Our eyes meet across the space. Behind them comes Aunt Claire, her face streaked with tears. She rushes to me, checking the wound. Elliot approaches, professional mask firmly in place. Nice work with the lantern, quick thinking. Was any of it real? I ask. Our friendship? The investigation was real. His expression softened slightly. Some of the rest, complicated. Catherine laughs from the floor, the sound ragged. You think this ends anything? The people I worked with? The network we built? Save it for your lawyer. Sheriff Garland hauls her to her feet. Catherine Mercer, you're under arrest for kidnapping, attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and about 40 other charges I'll enjoy listing. As they lead her away, she looks back at Jake. One day you'll understand, baby. I did this for us, for our future. Jake's voice is ice. I don't have a mother anymore. Dawn breaks over Pinecrest. I sit on the hood of Zoe's Civic, watching patrol cars process the scene. The rain has stopped. Everything smells clean and new. My father approaches, still flanked by FBI agents, but no longer cuffed. His eyes are older than I remember. Sadder. I'm sorry, he says, for everything, for not telling you the truth, for letting you believe I was. Corrupt? I finish. A murderer? He flinches. I was trying to protect you. Once Catherine and her network realized I'd documented everything, they threatened you, threatened Claire. I had to disappear, had to let you think the worst of me. You could have trusted me. You were 15 years old. He sits beside me. I couldn't put that burden on you. So, you watched from a distance. Let me hate you. Better than letting them kill you. His hand hovers near my shoulder, not quite touching. I made a deal with the FBI 6 months ago. Testimony in exchange for witness protection, for both of us. He meets my eyes. But you disappeared before I could tell you. Claire moved you here to keep you safe, not knowing I'd done the same for myself. Jake emerges from the mill, wrapped in a blanket, talking with Elliot. He sees me and raises a hand. I return the gesture. What happens now? I ask my father. Now I testify. Catherine goes to prison.
Oceanic shipping faces federal charges. He pauses. And we figure out what comes next. Together, if you'll let me. I want to be angry, want to hold on to the hate that sustained me through 3 months of running. But looking at him, I see only exhaustion and regret and hope. Together, I agree, finally. But you buy me breakfast first. I'm starving. He almost smiles. Deal. Zoe joins us, her eyes red but clear. Jake's going to stay with his aunt in Portland for a while, until the trial. She looks at me. What about you? I glance at my father, at Aunt Claire talking with Sheriff Garland, at the sun rising over Pinecrest. Witness protection means leaving. New names, new lives, again. But this time, I'll know the truth. This time, I won't be running from shadows. I don't know yet, I tell Zoe, but I'll figure it out. She hugs me tight. You better keep in touch, Parker Wilson, or whatever your new name ends up being. I promise. As the federal vehicles arrive to transport Catherine, she sees me one last time. Her expression holds no remorse, only calculation. Even in defeat, she's already planning. But her plans don't matter anymore. The evidence is secured, the truth is coming out. And however Catherine Mercer's story ends, it ends without hurting anyone else I care about. I take one last look at Pinecrest, high in the distance. 3 weeks ago, I arrived hoping to disappear. Instead, I found myself, found the truth, found that some things are worth fighting for, even when fighting means risking everything. The FBI agent gestures to my father. Time to go. Ready? Dad asks me. I slide off the hood, shoulder aching but manageable. Yeah, I'm ready. As we drive away from the lumber mill, from Pinecrest, from the only place that ever felt like it might become home, I realize something. I spent 3 months believing my father was a monster, spent years thinking trust was weakness, spent a lifetime learning to disappear. Now I have to learn how to be found. The highway stretches ahead, and for the first time since Boston, I'm not looking over my shoulder. I'm looking forward.